All right, let's jump right in. Think about your absolute favorite messaging app, or maybe your daily social feed, or even that corporate team dashboard you log into every morning. What's the one component you are constantly interacting with? Like the literal digital face of the app itself. It's the avatar. Whether it's a user profile, a chat head, a contact icon, avatars are everywhere. They completely humanize our software. And today, we're doing a deep dive into a massive UI glow-up for the B4X Rapid Application Development Framework. We're looking specifically at the brand new features that just dropped into the DaisyAvatar component. And let me tell you, this isn't just some minor patch. It's a fundamental upgrade to how we actually present users on screen.
So that brings us to a really important question, one that pretty much every front-end developer has to wrestle with at some point. How do you make a standard UI component feel truly modern? Because, well, here's the harsh reality. If your app's avatars look distorted, if they feel totally flat, or if they just look like they're stuck in a 2014 smartphone era, your entire application is going to feel outdated to the user. First impressions are absolutely crucial in software. The devil really is in the details here. The exact way an image fits inside a circle or a rounded box, the subtle way it catches the light or blends with the background, those little cues completely make or break the professional feel of your app. Users might not be able to articulate why an app feels premium, but they definitely absolutely notice when it doesn't.
Okay, here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The avatar evolution. 2. Fixing proportions with Resize Mode. 3. Creating depth using blur radius. 4. Modern aesthetics with the glass effect. And 5. The ultimate UI upgrade.
All right, starting off with Section 1, the Avatar Evolution, upgrading B4XDaisyAvatar.
Now, looking at the old component versus the new one, it's kind of night and day. Don't get me wrong, the old B4XDaisyAvatar was a total workhorse. It handled the basics perfectly, giving us easy sizing, different clipping masks like circles and squircle boxes, and those super handy little online status dots. It was great for getting an app off the ground quickly. But when we crack open the new source code, we see a massive shift. The developer has explicitly added fields for Resize Mode, Blur Radius, and Glass. These 3 additions mean you no longer have to build convoluted custom wrappers or import heavy third-party libraries or write wild, complex rendering scripts just to get high-end UI features. The whole shebang is now handled natively, right inside the visual designer. It's a real game changer for streamlining development.
Moving right along to Section 2, fixing proportions, no more distorted images.
So here's the crucial point, and it's a brilliant new default setting found directly in the code, fill_no distortions. In UI design, trying to get an unstandardized, user-uploaded photo to fit perfectly inside a geometric shape without stretching it out into some weird funhouse mirror reflection is notoriously frustrating, right? If you've ever had a user complain that their profile picture makes them look alien because of a stretched aspect ratio, you know exactly what I mean. This specific scaling mode is an absolute lifesaver. It ensures the image completely fills the avatar's bounds without being squished or stretched at all. It basically rescues us developers from having to manually pre-crop images before loading them into the app.
And if we look closely at the designer properties, Resize Mode actually accepts 4 specific string values. We've got FIT, fill_no distortions, and none. If you're already familiar with the B4X framework, you'll instantly recognize these. They function almost exactly like the aspect scaling modes in the standard B4X image view. Giving developers this familiar toolkit inside a stylized component like DaisyAvatar, absolute masterstroke. It means you get total control over how the image renders without having to learn a completely new workflow. You can just instantly adapt to whatever quirky, random image dimensions your backend API throws at you.
Okay, Section 3, creating depth, shifting the focus.
So the magic number here is 25. In the new properties, blur radius is an integer that goes from 0, which is, no blur at all the way up to a maximum scale-down blur factor of 25. And using this dynamic blur factor lets you build incredibly sophisticated user experiences. For example, you can create these beautiful, soft placeholders while a high-res image loads over a spotty cellular connection, which keeps the experience seamless instead of just flashing a jarring blank box. Or you can deliberately blur out secondary UI elements to pull the active avatar into super sharp focus. It's all about directing the user's attention exactly where you want it. For the hardcore coders out there, diving into the source code shows exactly how elegant this internal logic is. When you set a blur radius, the code first makes a call to a blur image sub. Then it uses a setAv function to mathematically calculate the average alpha, red, green, and blue, the ARGB, color values of all the neighboring pixels. Finally, it applies that smoothed-out average back to the image using the bitmap creator class.
What's absolutely fascinating here is how incredibly optimized it is. It's doing all this heavy lifting under the hood to deliver a buttery smooth visual result, and it doesn't freeze the app's main thread. You get gorgeous atmospheric blurring without dropping a single frame of performance.
Next up, Section 4, Modern Aesthetics, the finishing touch.
Listen to this exact quote left by the developer right in the component source code. Enable translucent glass shine and highlight borders. I mean, that single sentence carries so much weight in modern interface design right now. The whole glassomorphism trend, the frosted glass aesthetics, the subtle transparencies, that multi-layered depth, it has totally dominated high-end operating systems lately. Think about the design language of Mac OS, Windows 11, or iOS. They all lean super heavily on overlapping translucent materials. And now, that exact premium look is natively baked right into this B4X avatar component.
And honestly, the best part? Achieving this effect doesn't require custom shaders or intense graphical math. It is literally just a Boolean property. It defaults to false, but flipping that single toggle to true instantly applies that translucent shine. It highlights the borders, it adds multi-layered depth, and it instantly elevates the perceived quality of your interface. This is a massive win. If you want your app to look like it was designed by a huge, heavily funded UI team, but you actually just clicked a single checkbox, this is it. It completely levels the playing field for high-end UI design.
Finally, Section 5, the ultimate UI upgrade, wrapping it up. Let's put the whole shebang together. Here is your new toolkit. You've got perfect proportions via Resize Mode, so zero image distortion. You've got atmospheric depth via blur radius for beautiful loading states and dynamic focus, and you've got that premium glassomorphism shine via the glass effect. When you use these three tools together, they compound beautifully. You aren't just slapping a generic JPEG into a digital box anymore. You are effortlessly crafting gorgeous, modern UI components with absolutely zero extra coding effort. The framework handles all the heavy lifting, which lets us focus on the actual user experience.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. What kind of modern interface are you going to build next with the updated B4XDaisyAvatar? Now that intelligent scaling, atmospheric blurring, and premium glass finishes are literally just toggles at your fingertips, the possibilities for your app's digital face are wide open. The barrier to stunning design has never been lower. I highly encourage you to open up your IDE, drop in this updated component, and just start playing around with these settings to see what you can create. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and happy coding.